Florida Hometown Heroes is back for 2026. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most popular homebuyer programs in Florida, and it's also the one that creates the most confusion out of all the programs I have to deal with. It's the Florida Hometown Heroes program. So if you've been scrolling on social media, you've probably seen somebody say Florida's giving away $35,000 to buy a house. And while that sounds incredible, that's not exactly how the program works. In reality, it's much more nuanced. The good news, the program has just received additional funding approval and is expected to reopen with another $50 million available for eligible Florida homebuyers. The bad news is that people still don't know who qualifies, how it works, and what it can actually be used for, or even the financial implications of taking it. So today we're breaking down who qualifies, how much assistance is available, the hidden considerations that nobody's talking about, and whether Hometown Heroes is actually the right fit for you. So let's get into it. What is Hometown Heroes? Well, at its core, Hometown Heroes is a down payment and closing cost assistance program. It was designed to help Florida workers buy homes in the communities that they serve. Eligible buyers, they can receive up to 5% of their first mortgage amount. The minimum assistance is $10,000, while the maximum assistance is $35,000. Now, before you start planning how you're going to spend that $35,000, you need to understand this. It is not a grant. It's not a check, and it's definitely not free money. It's technically a second mortgage. It has a 0% interest, and it has no monthly payments, but it's still a loan. And that's where a lot of buyers get confused. Everybody loves hearing $35,000 is available for a house, but what they don't hear is the word loan. Hometown Heroes isn't just free money. It's a secondary mortgage that sits behind your first mortgage. There's no monthly payment and there's no interest, but it still needs to get paid back. So, when do you actually pay it back? And this is where buyers need to pay attention. You don't make monthly payments on the assistance. Instead, repayment is triggered when one of several things happens. You need to either sell the home or refinance the home, you transfer ownership, or you just stop living there as your primary residence. So that means that if you buy a house today and you're planning on refinancing 2 years from now when the rates drop significantly, then that secondary mortgage may become due. And that's a conversation every buyer needs to have with their lender before they even use that program. Everybody asks how they get free money, but very few people ask how do you have to give that back? And that's the question that matters more. So who actually qualifies? Well, this program is no longer limited to just first responders. Today, it covers a much more broader range of Florida workers. You got healthcare, you have education, you have public safety, you have government, public officials, military, veterans, many other occupations as well. But you generally need to have a full-time employment by a Florida-based employer and meet Florida housing income requirements. This is where many buyers get surprised. A lot of people assume that they make too much money, where in reality, many middle-class families still qualify. The income limits vary by county, so don't assume that you've disqualified just because you never actually checked. The biggest myth here I see is probably that you make too much money, and you might not. I've seen nurses qualify. I've seen teachers qualify. I've seen firefighters qualify, and I've seen military families qualify. People automatically count themselves out without ever even checking. So why does this program matter? Let's talk about the real problem that buyers are facing. Most families, they're not struggling with the monthly payment. They're struggling with the upfront cash. Think about it. A $400,000 house could easily require $15,000 to $20,000 or more between closing costs, your prepaids, insurance, escrows, taxes, your down payment. Many families, they can afford the monthly payment, but what they can't do is write a $20,000 check. That's where programs like Hometown Heroes can make a huge difference. So what's the most common mistake that buyers make? Here's where I think buyers get themselves into trouble. They become so focused on getting approved that they stop asking whether the house actually fits their long-term plan. The goal is not just to buy a house. The goal is to be a successful owner of that house. And there's a big difference. Don't buy at the top of your budget just because a program helps you get there. Don't assume that you can refinance the next year. Don't assume that taxes won't increase or that insurance costs won't go up. You need to build a margin inside your budget. Future you is going to thank you. The goal overall isn't just to get approved. The goal is being comfortable in that house 5 years from now. So in 2026, where is the opportunity? The latest funding allocation is expected to make another $50 million available. Historically, these funds move fast. So that means that waiting until your dream home hits the market is probably going to be the wrong strategy for you. The buyers who tend to benefit the most are the ones who prepare first. You get pre-approved, you understand the guidelines, you know your numbers, and then When the right opportunity appears, you're ready to move. You're not scrambling to make it work last minute. If you're a Florida worker, a veteran, a teacher, nurse, firefighter, law enforcement officer, healthcare professional, or just anyone wondering whether you qualify, don't make assumptions. Have the conversation, run the numbers, understand your options. Because the biggest mistake isn't using a program, it's never finding out whether you could have, or if that program could have helped you. If you like help figuring out whether Hometown Heroes or another Florida housing program or county level assistance program makes the most sense for your situation, reach out and I'd be happy to help you figure out the right fit for you. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you in the next episode.